Hi, welcome to Spotlight, and my guest today is Andy Meisner. Andy, you are the Oakland County Treasurer, and you're up for re-election.
Yes, I am.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Now, can you tell us what exactly does the Oakland County Treasurer do?
Sure. So the county treasurer is, in some ways, the banker for the county. And the money that comes into the county through taxes and revenue from other source levels of government comes in through our office. And then when we have to pay the bills for Oakland County, it's our office that's doing that. So whether it's making sure that we're covering payroll, paying our vendors, or whatever it might be, that's part of what our team does. And then with the surplus funds, I act as Chief Investment Officer for Oakland County. And so I invest with my team a portfolio right now of about $1.2 billion.
Wow.
And so, we put that money with local banks and credit unions. And by the way, it's exciting to be back here at MEA TV.
You are like an old family friend.
Well, I'm really proud of the relationship that I've got with, not only MEA TV and radio and Wally and the team, but much more broadly the Chaldean community that I've had the honor of representing in Oakland County government for the last 7 years and 6 years before that in the State House of Representatives. But it's a really important piece of who we are in Oakland County and really something that I want to celebrate. And so being here today with you is a great way to do that.
Well, thank you for being here. We
Well,
love
thank
you.
you.
Our community loves you.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been treasurer?
So I've been treasurer for about 7 years. I was elected in 2008, and then the term began on July 1st of 2009, which was kind of a weird quirk in the state law.
That is a little weird.
Yeah, but I started July 1st, 2009, and have been a treasurer since then. And so it's been a really interesting 7 years. When I came in as treasurer, it was during the foreclosure crisis,
Of course.
the Great Recession, the whole housing meltdown, and it was a very challenging time for Oakland County.
I bet.
And a lot of businesses. We have a lot of friends in the business community that suffered. I know that we collectively have got a lot of friends and folks who face challenges with foreclosure and delinquent property taxes. That's another piece of what I do as treasurer is I manage the delinquent property taxes, and we've done 14,000 payment plans with families and small businesses to help them keep their property during the tough times. But I mentioned I'm investing like $1 billion. When I came in 2009, the banks were all going bankrupt and
Right.
they were dropping like flies. And so today it's not as big of a challenge, but certainly, back then we had some real concern about what was a safe depository. Because with our investments, safety is the number one consideration under state law. And, the Bank of Michigan, which is a great Chaldean-owned institution since acquired by Level 1, that was a place where I put a lot of deposits because I had confidence that that team was making those funds available to entrepreneurs, to small business people, to folks in and around Oakland County that could put that money to work, creating jobs, stimulating economic development, and also just investing in our housing stock after we lost so much in property values. But you know about that a little bit as a councilwoman in
Yes, I
in
do.
Orchard Lake.
Yes, I do. Actually, my next question was going to be, what are some of the things that you've accomplished while serving as treasurer? But you said quite a few things that you've done.
I think that the big picture is that I have a great team of about 45 people in the county treasurer's office, and we work as a unit with a real customer service orientation. And so anytime that I'm saying I did this or I did that, I really want to make clear that I have a team of people
That's awesome.
that contribute to that success, and I act as like the CEO of the organization. But collectively, I think that the accomplishment that we're most proud of is that we put together 14,000 payment plans with families and businesses that fell on hard times. Every single one of those requires sitting down with folks, getting it written down on a little one-page agreement, and then people paying what they can afford to pay.
Right.
And those 14,000 payment plans have generated almost $80 million in revenue. And so not only does it provide the moral benefit of keeping a family in their home, which is something that is so important to everybody, and so that's something that we're proud of. The fact that we were able to help people, but also help balance the budget and generating almost $180 million for Oakland County during what has been a real tough time.
Right.
Everyone knows that owns a home or a business in Oakland County that we lost property value during the crisis.
What are foreclosures like now? Obviously, they've diminished a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great question, Jennifer, and I'm really excited to report that the foreclosures are way down.
Wow.
From, in Oakland County, we had a peak of about, about 1,600 tax foreclosures.
Last year?
No, that was actually back in like 2012.
Okay.
And so 2012, 2013 timeframe. But now it's down to a few hundred.
Wow.
Yeah, and Wayne County, which had such huge problems with 70, 80,000 tax foreclosures, I think they've cut that in half. They're down to about 20,000 or so, if I'm not mistaken. And so we're seeing that on the tax foreclosure first, but second, the mortgage foreclosure front, the crisis is gone. There are lessons that we learned that, one is that we have to be really vigilant in monitoring some of these big banks and
Right.
some of their practices, but also that we just have to make sure that, we're not rushing people into loans if they can't afford it,
Right.
and they're not quite ready to be homeowners. But we have some of those things to take it as like a teachable moment or whatnot.
Right. Now, I know that you said you were a former state representative. Can you just tell us what is your education and other political experience that you bring to
Yeah.
this treasurer's position?
Sure. So I mentioned I'm a county treasurer since 2009. I spent 6 years in the State House of Representatives. I represented South Oakland County. I had Huntington Woods, Oak Park, Berkeley, Pleasant Ridge, Ferndale, and Hazel Park. Represented those areas for 6 years and served as chairman of the Commerce Committee, where I sponsored the Michigan Spirit of Entrepreneurship initiative. I've really always been a fan of entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is frankly something I've always admired in the Chaldean community, as it's such a value that is placed. And there are so many friends in the community who have had such success in entrepreneurship. I think it's really a lesson for the rest of Oakland County and the rest of Michigan and the rest of the country, for that matter, to heed. While I was a state representative, I went to law school at University of Detroit Mercy.
Wow.
With the Jesuits. And so I went to the evening program at UAD as a state representative. And so I got my law degree in 2006 while serving in the State House, and I sat for the bar the next February and somehow passed the bar. I don't know, still not sure how that happened, but so I have a law degree from University of Detroit Mercy, and then educationally, everyone knows, it's kind of a weird thing about me, and a lot of people in Michigan can't believe this when I tell it to them, but I went to Michigan State for 2 years and University of Michigan for 2 years.
Okay.
And so,
So which do you prefer?
well, I graduated from Michigan, which was like the #1 poli-sci program in the country at that time. I usually root for whichever one is the underdog. So right now in football, Michigan State is the underdog.
Right.
And in basketball, Michigan has probably been more the underdog, at least since the Fab Five days. But that's kind of my educational background. And I've also received some certifications in my work as county treasurer, because you asked about kind of qualifications for
Right,
that position. There's an organization called the Association of Public Treasurers of the United States and Canada. And they have a pretty intensive certification program that took about 3.5 years. And I went through that. And so I am a certified public finance administrator. And so
Wow.
that's kind of an additional credential that just focuses on the work of treasurer, treasury management, the investments, the property tax, and also being the treasurer for a number of county entities. For instance, in Oakland County, we have an amazing business finance corporation, and I want to make sure that all of my friends in the community know about the Oakland County Business Finance Corporation, because they help with small business lending, and it's a great resource that's available to help people, whether you're starting a business or you've got a business and you're looking to expand,
Right.
which is the case with a lot of fantastic Oakland County companies. Folks should really take a look at the Oakland County Business Finance Corporation. I serve as the treasurer for that, but I also serve on the executive board.
Now, how could they get that more information about that? Is there like website or?
Yeah,
or what?
they can go to oakgov.com,
Okay.
www.oakgov.com, and
I'm very familiar with that website.
yeah, no, I know it's a great site, and what they'll do is they'll get connected with one of our team members through the Economic Development Committee office, I should say, or department. And they will be assigned somebody who will help them kind of figure out what options are available.
Okay.
And the Small Business Administration or SBA loan programs, like the 504B and 7A, those programs are administered through our BFC. And so it's a great way to get a loan. And we also have something called a micro loan. So, let's say that you're operating your business out of, you're still in the church kitchen, and, you've launched this business and you really think you've got something, but you're not quite ready for like a conventional loan. Oakland County offers a micro loan of $5,000 to $50,000 that could help you in the earlier stages of your business, and
What is the interest rate? Just curious on something.
so it
like that.
varies. It's it's affordable. It'll be par plus. I think right now it's maybe 5 or 6%. I think is the rate. The other benefit with the micro loan program is that they relax some of the credit score requirements, and so somebody that maybe has taken some nicks might still have an opportunity to do that. But I know that when people think about Oakland County, they think about jobs and the economy, and the Business Finance Corporation, as well as the Oakland County Economic Development Corporation that I serve on. Those are really key drivers in Oakland County of the jobs creation, and small business lending especially is really like the life's blood, and so we have to make sure that we're promoting that. And because I have a $1 billion portfolio with a lot of these banks, I have a little bit of a bully pulpit, to say, hey, this is important, and never to say, hey, fund this loan or this loan in particular, but to say, I want to make sure that my friends who are business people in the county, any of the constituents, that they're getting a fair shake. And maybe the answer is no from a lender, maybe it's yes. But at the very least, we want to make sure that our business people are getting an audience
Right.
with these lenders, and they're not shutting down these opportunities.
Right. Now, you are up for re-election.
Yes,
November 8th is the big day.
that's right.
Now, what sets you apart from your opponent, who I know is also very politically active?
Yeah. I think that the biggest thing is, for me, it really starts with sacrifice. And, as the county treasurer, I was the first official to turn down a free county car, county gas, county cell phone.
Oh, wow.
Because as I said, I came in during the crisis, And I think that sacrifice, has got to start at the top. And if there's going to be pain that's going to be felt by the employees, then I want them to know that, that I'm going to share in that. And so
That's very kind of you.
well, that's why I also took a voluntary pay cut, about $5,000 to share in that sacrifice during the lean times. But that's something that distinguishes me, is that I'm not afraid of sharing in the pain and sacrifice.
Right.
And I want to do that.
Right.
I think also, humble public service. When people come to the county treasurer's office, the tone that we set is really, really important. And the tone that I set is one of being friendly and accessible and approachable, and never saying no. Maybe you got to say no, but I can help you with this
Right.
other path. And I think that that's a distinction. But as the county treasurer for the last 7 years, I've worked across the aisle. This is not a very partisan office. There's not really, we run as Democrat or Republican, but
And you are
I'm a Democrat. But the truth is that there's really not, so much a Democrat or Republican way to be a county treasurer. There's a good way and a bad way, and what I've tried to do is to do it the good way, which I think is part of the reason that I was endorsed not only by the Detroit Free Press, but also by the Detroit News.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I
that's
did not know that.
Well, I'm proud of that. It just happened, and I'm proud of that because as county treasurer, I really go out of my way to serve everybody,
Right.
irrespective of party. You, I think, happen to be a Republican, but I would never treat somebody differently because of their party, especially in a official capacity.
Right.
I just want to work with people. I want to collaborate.
Right.
And I want to make a positive difference for the people of Oakland County. And that's what I've really tried to do as county treasurer over these last 7 years. And we have more work to do. We have more tax base that we need to recover. With Detroit getting so strong, we need to figure out how we're going to compete. Part of that is I've focused a lot on investment in the city of Pontiac, which is something that I think has great opportunity to help us keep some of our millennials, offer kind of a fun, edgy downtown sort of a feel.
Right.
Slow's Barbecue is opening up there on November 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And so investing in our downtowns is something as well that we need to do. And, we have Birmingham and Royal Oak and, Clarkston, so many downtowns that are fantastic. We have other ones that are emerging, like Pontiac, also like Hazel Park. And so I really want to help those to grow and help to make sure that those markets are getting lending opportunities as well. The banks are subject to the Community Reinvestment Act, and that means that they've got to be good corporate citizens.
Right.
And part of what I've done as treasurer is to help make sure that they do that.
So, as you know, Michigan holds one of the largest Arab and Chaldean communities outside the Middle East,
Yes.
and I know that you are active with our community. What is your relationship with them? What? Because I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, well, I have enjoyed a really close relationship with the Chaldean and broader Arab community in Oakland County. I've participated in so many community events over the years.
Like?
I was just at the Chaldean Chamber of Commerce golf outing.
Okay.
For instance. I wasn't able to golf, but I went to the dinner and, the Chaldean Chamber annual event.
Right.
I attend each year. But also, church services. I was one of the few elected officials that was at Mike George's funeral, and I wanted to pay tribute to him as the great leader that he was,
Right.
who we lost, and a lot of close personal friendships. A lot of multi-generational friendships. I have a buddy, Adnan, and his mother, she adopted me, and she goes to Jerusalem every year and is a, very devout Chaldean woman, and I'm like her second son. And so, I've had a relationship with the community over time, going back to before my state representative days. I worked for Congressman Sandy Levin, and he had a lot of relationships in the community, and so as a staffer, I got to meet people. But even going back, my best friend in the world, we were next door neighbors when we grew up. His father is from Baghdad, actually by way of Haifa, and his mother is from Alpena. And so he's half Chaldean, and they really are like family. And so going back to my earliest days, I was exposed to the culture and food and
What's your
faith.
favorite food, I have to ask?
I love kibinai.
Okay.
I love kibinai. My Noel, or Gia, is his Chaldean name. And he first exposed me to kibinai, and he says, okay, you take a little bit of the bread and scoop some up, and a little piece of onion, and then a little bit of olive oil. And I know it's wrong.
I was expecting to hear like dolma or grape leaves.
I love kibinai. I mean, I love it all.
Right.
You
can't go wrong.
I like all the classics.
Right.
But the kibinai is the one that's my favorite.
Okay. So do you have any final thoughts that you just want to leave with the audience?
I thank you for the chance to be on the show.
Thank you for coming again.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate your leadership. I want to, say that I think we need more women in leadership, and I've been real excited by what you're doing in Orchard Lake, and I think there's a lot of people on both sides of the aisle that are paying attention to, your approach, and I think it's very positive and collaborative, and so I really want to acknowledge that, and thank you for having me. And in terms of my friends in the community out there who are watching, you've seen my face here before. You've seen me at community events. You've seen me knocking on your door, which I've been doing. We've knocked on tens of thousands of doors, and hopefully you've seen me when there's a time of need, and that I have become a reliable friend who is with you during good times and bad, and that's what I've sought to do. I cherish the Chaldean community. It's a growing and thriving community in Oakland County, and I think that is a wonderful thing. The culture, the faith, the vision, the food, these are all things that they make us better, and they are make for a beautiful and diverse Oakland County. And so I'm asking Habibi for the honor of representing you again as your Oakland County Treasurer, and I ask for your vote on November 8th for my reelection.
And your website or phone number?
My phone number is 248-421-ANDY. That's my cell phone, has been since I was a state rep, and the website is andymeisner.com, www.andymeisner.com, and of course we're also on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn.
I know, I follow
you. And so please reach out if I can be of service.
Thank you so much for coming, Andy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.